Once again, thanks to everybody for turning up. Thanks to the new people for coming along. Great to see you. Hope you enjoy this evening. Hope you come along for the next ones. Going to be more meetings over the next few weeks. And thanks to the old guys, the old people. Excuse me for calling you old, but the people who've been before. Thanks for coming back. That's fantastic. A little bit about me. Again, if you've sat through these before, we'll go through again. You know about me, but the new people might not. So I'm a businessman. I've been self-employed since 1974. I've been a property investor for 36 years. Bought my first buy-to-let property in March 1986. I'm an author of half a dozen books or so. I'm a mentor. I've mentored quite a lot of people. And I'm an educator, taught hundreds of people as well over the years. And so that's me in a nutshell. Here's John, who'll tell me about himself.
Thanks, Peter, and good evening, everyone. Obviously, it's great to see you all here again. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Jonathan, and I've got a background in marketing, which includes a first-class honours degree in marketing, advertising, and PR. I run my own marketing agency called the Debt Marketing Services, based here in the West Midlands, and we provide a range of services that you can see on the screen here now. And also today, I'm helping Peter with the slides. So great to obviously to meet you all, and obviously looking forward to what Peter has to say. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, John. Thank you. Right, now, if you have any questions, if any questions come up, please write them in the chat box and we'll answer them at the Q&A session at the end. That'll save us getting diverted away from what we're doing and getting off track. So just write them in the Q&A box and we'll answer them at the end. Now, up till today, we've been telling you what you can do in property, and that's very interesting. Some stuff that a lot of people didn't know, I know. But today we're going to show you how to do it. And the first thing we're going to deal with, of course, is deal sourcing. And we're going to talk about how you can successfully source property deals to use or to sell on. Because you can use a deal, to build your own portfolio, or you can package a deal and sell it on. Now, there's always people who say to me, yes, but I'm no good at sourcing deals. Listen, nonsense. Like anything in life, it's easy when you know how. And anybody can learn anything. You can. Anybody can learn anything. And listen, it doesn't matter what property strategy you want to use. It all starts with sourcing a deal. If you haven't got a deal, you can't get into property unless you spend money and buy somebody else's deals. And what is the point of doing that? Now, I recommend using lease options, but you can use rent to rent or any other way you like. Lease options, because it's easier than rent to rent. It's far, far cheaper than any other property strategy out there, and it'll make you loads more money than any other property out there as well. Lease option wins hands down every time. If you're not doing lease options, you're missing out big time. You might think you're the big I am in property, but if you're not using options, you're losing a lot of money. You're leaving it on the table. You've got to learn how to do it. So tonight we're going to cover options, rent to rent, and general sourcing methods. And we're going to start with general sourcing methods. Now, again, we're going to say, but why bother sourcing deals when you can buy them? Well, you can buy one if you're just looking for one deal and you haven't got much time and loads of money, you can probably buy a deal. But generally, you're going to want more than one lead. You're going to want more than one deal. You might be looking for a buy-to-let for your own portfolio. You might be looking for a property to turn into an HMO. You might be looking for a property to flip, for a rent-to-rent opportunity, for lease option deals, for auction deals, for development plots, or commercial property opportunities. And you'll do much better getting them yourself. Now, sourcing deals is a great strategy if you're short of funds, because it's great for building up deposits for other deals. You can sell leads. You can help other people solve their problems. You earn a minimum sourcing fee of £1,000 to £5,000 per deal. One deal a month can make you £60,000 a year, and thousands of people want to buy deals. Believe me. Yeah, but I'm not good at sourcing deals. Listen, forget it. Everybody can source deals. You source stuff every day without even realizing it. You search the internet. You do online shopping. You do price comparisons. You do item comparisons. You go on Amazon and you try and flipping around, finding the best deal. You're used to sourcing deals. You do it all day, every day. So forget saying that you can't do it. It's no good. Other people can do it, but not you. You can do it. You just got to apply your mind and put it in the right direction, and you'll do it. So how much money can you make sourcing deals? Well, we're talking here about selling the deal on. So when you source a deal and you've got a potential deal here, you can either keep the deal for yourself, or you can sell the deal on to somebody else. Now, a small deal, a flat or small house, can make you around £3,000. A larger HMO deal between £4,000 to £7,000, but I've seen them higher than that. Lease options, well, £5,000 upwards. The most I've got for one lease option deal has been £22,000, and commercial to residential, almost unlimited. I had one student who did a commercial deal for a commission fee of £70,000. That's 70 grand for one deal. So it's there, and you've got to do it. You can't say no to that kind of money. Now, people need us. They need property sources, because without property sources, many wannabe investors will not get onto the ladder. Investors can find deals nationwide and locally. Estate agents need us for their sticky properties. Auction houses need us to feed their business, and letting agents depend on us for new business. Now, when you're sourcing a deal, you need to look for this in a vendor. You need to look for pain in the deal. You need to look for motivation. You need to look how you can add value to the deal by being creative, and that's through having vision. And the kind of deals we're looking for is BMV, below market value, rent to rent, existing HMOs, flips, title splits, commercial to residential, development land, lease option deals, service accommodation, planning gain, buy-to-lets, refurbs, and repossessions at the minimum. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Like any business worldwide, to make money, you buy cheap and you sell dear. And that's what you're doing in property. You're getting a deal cheaply and you'll sell it on more expensive, and that's how you make your profit. And to do that, you need to know how to value a property. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I'm going to show you briefly how to do that. Now, it starts with calculating the market value of the property you're looking at. Now, RICS valuations are accepted everywhere. RICS agents use comparables, and they compare to similar properties sold within the last 6 months in the same area. So, different types of valuations. You've got the hope value. That's what the vendor would like. And that's what you often see a house sold for on Rightmove. You've got the marketing value, what estate agents value a property at. You get a realistic value, what someone will pay for it. And the asking price is just that. It's the asking price. Now, 90% of all properties are sold by estate agents and listed on Rightmove. And Rightmove gives you all the information you need. You can't, if you just go on Rightmove, you're looking for properties, go on Rightmove. You will be amazed at what's on there. You'll be amazed by the deals, the hidden deals that are right there on Rightmove. Now, an ideal comparable property is going to be the same size as the one you're looking for, the same condition, on the same street, and sold within the last 6 months. Now, whatever price that went for is roughly what the same price as the property you're looking at now. And you can use the same price valuation, and that will be very valid. That will be very valid. Now, in the real world, you need at least 3 comparables to accurately measure market value. And in a grey area, you'll base your numbers on a worst case scenario, and you remove emotion from the equation and value conservatively. That means that you might see a house that you love and try in your mind, try to raise the value of it, thinking it's a fantastic property, it's got to go well. But that's getting emotion into the equation, and you should not do that. Remove emotion from it, look at it coldly and coolly, and value conservatively. Don't overvalue a property, because you'll have problems down the line when you try and sell a deal if you do that. So Where to find deals? Well, you can find them in all sorts of places. And you'll find them in estate and letting agents, in newspapers, direct to vendor, auction houses, social media, networking meetings, bandit boards, flyers, shop window cards, websites, eBay, Gumtree, Spare Room, other sources, and the courts, believe it or not. Now, I don't think things like social media, networking meetings, bandit boards, flyers, shop window cards, don't think that they don't work. They do. And I'm going to tell you something. Some years ago, I had a hardwood flooring company, which I started. And I started it generally in the London area, mostly within the M25 area. And in the first 11 months of trading, I turned over £650,000. In the second year, I did £1 million of turnover. And in year 3, I did £1.2 million of turnover before I sold the business. All that business, 99.9% of all that business, I got through flyers put in through people's doors. Don't dismiss them. Don't think that they don't work. I don't care how big the internet is. The simple things still work. People still look in shop windows. They still look on bandit boards. They work, believe me, which is why estate agents put up houses for sale signs or to let signs or sold signs outside properties, because they work, because people see them, and it's good advertising. So all these ways work, and you need to be using them. I want to always remember this: the higher the return on interest on the cash flow, the better. And the further north you go, the higher the return on interest. And that's because further south, the rents are higher, and the costs are higher, and so your profit comes down. The higher north you go, the higher the return on investment. So the more money you're going to make on a deal, the further north you go. Worth thinking about. A lot of people don't know that. Now I'm going to give you a bit of a flow chart here. So when you're sourcing a deal, and the first thing you do is source a deal. And that is where the deal comes into you, or you find it on whatever source you're looking at. You chat with the vendor to arrange an agreement in principle, and you agree to meet to discuss the opportunities further. Now that can be an estate agent if you're doing an option deal, or any kind of deal. It could be Gumtree if you're doing a rent to rent. But you source the deal and you find the deal. Then you need to do your due diligence. And that the first thing about that is a land register title search to check that these people actually own the property. You'll be surprised how many scammers are on there. And 12, 15 years ago, I got caught out by some scam solicitors who were putting out properties for sale, taking deposits, and they were completely scammed. And I checked them out. I checked them out, and they were registered with the solicitor's place, and they seemed legit and everything. They caught banks. They made millions. They caught me for 20 grand. They'll catch. They're out there. You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to check the sold comparables, and you've got to check for letting demand with a local agent. So when you're looking at a place and you say a great place that's going, you think I could turn that into an HMO. You've got to find out, well, what's the demand in that area? What kind of demand? Is it for young professionals? Is it for families? Is it for young workers? Find out who it is. Find out what your demand is and what your where your money is going to come from. Then you've got to decide on the price. You need to know the numbers. You've got to create the solution, decide the numbers, decide the price, and make sure that the whole thing is viable. You've got to find out what is a vendor's challenge and why they're selling. Do you turn it into a BMV? Is it HMO? Are you going to sell it with planning? You solve their problem and you win the game. And that's basically what it is there. Then you sell the deal. You offer to the investors, you package the deal, you offer to the investors, and you sell the deal. And remember, the first person to pay the reservation fee gets the deal. You've got to do that. And if you don't think there's much money in sourcing deals, look, one of my mentees sourced deals worth £270,000 in fees in just 18 months. And he started with no money, nothing. He had to borrow the money to pay my mentorship fee. He paid the guy back in 2 weeks. And he did deals worth 270 grand in 18 months. If he can do it, you can do it. He didn't know. I don't know. He had no experience, didn't know what he was doing, and he just went into it cold. So there you are. You can do it. You can do it too. So when you package the deal, remember that the first person to pay the reservation fee gets the deal. Yes, you charge a reservation fee. Never give out the full address. You don't want people going behind your back and doing deals with the owner, do you? Describe the type of property and the features. So it's a 3-bed semi, central heating, double glazing, garden rear, parking front, that kind of thing. Any potential improvements you can do, like conversion to an HMO, extensions, that kind of thing. The current market value that you'll get through doing your comparables. The purchase price and any associated fees with it. The time scale. The next step or the call to action. Always stay in control of the deal and always look for possible joint venture opportunities. And there's just sourcing deals is a business in itself. You don't, if you're worried about tenants, and a lot of people are, and with good reason these days, then you don't have to be bothered with them. Just source the deals and sell the deals. You've got a huge ready market out there waiting for you. I promise you that. Now, to become a professional sourcing company, you're required to become legally compliant by taking out property ombudsman membership. And you need indemnity insurance cover to £100,000. That is mandatory. You need to take those out if you become a professional sourcing company. Now that's general sourcing deals. That's general how to find deals in general, and that works for pretty well. That works across the board for pretty well everything. But now we're going to talk about sourcing lease option deals. My favorite, as you know, my little baby lease option deals. It's made me so much money. I love them. Can't do without them. So what group of homeowners are best for lease option deals? Well, motivated sellers. But they're the best for any kinds of deals, really. That's what you're looking for, motivated sellers. But with lease options, particularly those facing repossession. And the reason is they're probably the most motivated of all. You'll get all kinds of motivation. You get those who might be a death in the family, they might have a divorce. Maybe they've got a new job in a different part of the company. There's loads of reasons for people being motivated and needing to move quickly. Loads of reasons. But the biggest one is those facing repossession. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that you must remember when you're looking for deals. Not all property deals are about money. Don't think everybody's selling and they want the highest possible price. If you go into deals, every deal, thinking that, you're going to lose a lot of deals and you're going to lose a lot of money on the table. That is far from the truth. I would say 30 to 40% of all deals out there are nothing to do with the money. There's other reasons that people want to sell, and you'll find them. And those are the people you want to do the deals with, not the people who want the highest possible price. You know, that's going to be those are difficult deals to do. Now, 95% of all my lease option deals came from estate agents, and you might think that's strange because normally estate agents will never give you property deals. And you've probably found that out yourself. If you've gone around and you've gone into estate agents and you put your card down, you said, I'm a property investor and I wonder if you've got any deals. I'll tell you what happens straight away. The shutters come down on their ears. They don't listen to you. And as soon as you're out the door, your card's filed in that round bin on the floor. And how do I know this? Because one of my partners, I lived with her for 12 years. She was and still is manager of an estate agent, and I learned so much. I'm telling you. You see, look, estate agents only work in one way. They take commissions to sell properties. And somebody comes in and says, well, you look at my property. They say yes, they'll go out and look at it. They'll tell them a price, which is always optimistic and always gets knocked down, but they need to get that commission. They need to get that deal. So the estate agent will give the vendor the highest price they possibly can. And then it goes in the shop window and it goes on Rightmove, and hopefully they sell it and they get their commission. However, occasionally a deal will come up that is right for development. And when one of these comes up, long before it's in the lease agent's window, long before it goes on Rightmove, it is sold to one of the builders that the estate agent manager has got in the background. And I promise you, it goes, and those managers go home with little brown envelopes full of cash, and bouquets of flowers, and bottles of champagne. And if you think they're going to give up those deals to some guy who's walked in off the street and put down his card, the big I am, and said, I'm a property investor, you can think again. They aren't, and they don't, and they won't. So you've got to think about another way of approaching them. And you've got to think of a way that's going to get them thinking outside the box. Because when you go in, estate agents only ever think of one deal, and that's a development deal. They don't think, they've never heard of lease option deals, and probably buy-to-lets. They don't know about them. They live in their very own narrow world, residential estate agents. So you need to think of a different way of approaching them. And I can show you how you can get deals from every single agent you visit on. How about that? I've learned how to do it. Pay attention, because I'm going to show you how to do it. And it's all in what you do and what you say. And it works. I do it so many times. It works. Now, the first thing you have to remember is never, never, never walk into an estate agent off the street. You're the 100th that week that's done that. They're not interested. Trust me, they're bored with you. They're fed up with you. They don't want to see you. Now, you always call to speak with agents before visiting, but you've got to do your due diligence first. You've got to be prepared. So this is what you do. This is how you do it. Now, you go on Rightmove. Good old Rightmove. And you're looking for sticky properties. You're looking for properties that aren't selling, that have been on estate agent sites for some time and aren't shifting, because those are the ones you like to get a deal with, right? Not the ones that have been on for 2 weeks and you think you might. No. Now, when you go on, you're going to go onto Rightmove, and you know that as you look through and as a page, you'll get this little box there. It says sort by either the highest price, the lowest price, the newest listed, the oldest listed. You're going to go the oldest listed. Just click oldest listed, because you want the ones that have been on there the longest time. So just click an area. Now, here's one that I did on, what day is today? Monday. I did this on Saturday, I think. And I went to Leeds, big city, Leeds city centre, 5 miles, oldest properties. And on the first page, the entire first page, all 23 properties were posted prior to 2020. I didn't even bother going on to page 2. There's 23 deals there potentially for you. Now, if you're an estate agent manager and you've got properties that you've been looking at for 2 years plus, you want to get them out. You want to get them away, right? You want to get rid of them. You need the money. They're not making you any money. They're costing you money while they're in Rightmove because you're paying for them. You want to get them off there and you want to get the money in. And those are where the deals are. Obvious. So this is what you do. This is how you do it. Go to you sorted out a property that you like on Rightmove. You go to that agent's website. You look through it and you make a note of 3 or 4 properties that haven't sold, assuming they've got 3 or 4 that haven't sold. But if not, as many as they have that haven't sold. But you know they've certainly got one that hasn't sold, because that's what brought you to their website anyway. Once you made a note, just write a note of what those are, then you call the agent. Now you need to speak with the manager. You need to speak to them. I know you're just speaking with a girl who answers, speak to the manager. And in order to get through to the manager, because you'll speak to somebody first, you need to know the manager's name. Now it's quite often on the website. If it isn't, make a prior call and ask the person on to say, excuse me, can you just tell me the name of your manager? They will tell you. It's not a secret. Nobody's hiding. They'll tell you, oh, it's Mr. Jones, John Jones. Thank you very much. Now, sometime later, an hour later on the next day, you can call back and say, oh, hi there. This is my name's Peter Hogan. Could I please could you put me through to Mr. Jones, please? They'll say, does he know what it's about? Say, yes, it's about property. He knows what it's about. And they'll put you right through because they think you know each other. Simple, but it works. You need to speak to the manager. Now, when you speak to the manager and he comes on, you say this to him. You say, oh, thank you for taking a minute to speak to me, Mr. Jones. Look, I'm a property investor and I work with a group of UK investors. Now, we've developed a way of helping estate agents like yourself offload those sticky properties that you've got difficulty selling. Is that something you'd like to know more about? Just that as it is. Copy your screen, remember this, write it down in shorthand, take a photograph of it, remember that, remember these paragraphs. That's what you need to say to them. Now they will either say yes or no. They might not say yes, they might say, oh, well, what is it? What is it? Tell me what it's about. Something like that. If they do that, fine, you're on your way. If they say, oh, well, no, we're not interested, you go this way, you say, okay, does that mean you've sold the 4 properties you had on your website that were first listed over 2 years ago? Or have you just not bothered updating your website? What is that going to tell them? The first thing it's going to tell them is that you know what you're doing. You're a professional. You can't be messed around. It also knows that they know how to put, that you know how to put them in their place. Does that mean you haven't, does that mean you've sold the 4 properties that were on your website this morning? Or have you not bothered updating your website? Now, at this point, you carry on and you say to them, look, I'm not here to scam you, Mr. Jones, but I really can get those properties off your books in just 2 weeks or so. Just think how that would make you look to the directors. And let's face it, you're in the business of selling properties, aren't you? Surely you don't want them sitting around forever. I mean, it just doesn't look good, does it? Now, at this point, they might say, you might bring them around and say, oh yeah, well, tell me what it's about then. Or they might be awkward and say, no, we're not interested. And they might give you the runaround. Don't worry about it. You will still get this Mr. Jones. I promise you, you will get him as a client. And this is why, because the next thing you say to him, if you insist on saying no, say this to him. That's quite okay, Mr. Jones. I do have a meeting with Smith's estate agents down the street shortly anyway. Tell you what, can I put back in 3 months or so to see if anything has changed? They will always say yes, just to get rid of you and just to end the conversation. That's fine. Now, you go off and you see Mr. Smith down the road, and I promise you, you will get a deal at some point. In the first 2 or 3 trips, you will get a deal. Absolutely 100%, you will get a deal, I guarantee it. And when you do, you print that out and you go back to the first agents who said no. And you say to them, remember, when you print out, you're going to say this to them. You go back to that first agent and you say, oh, hello, Mr. Jones. You remember I came to see you about selling your sticky properties a while ago. Well, we've just done our first deal with your competitor, Smith's estate agents down the road. Would you like to see how much money they're making as you hand over the paperwork with all the financials on it, which they're going to take off you and read? Now, do you think you're going to get them? 100% you will. Because when they see how much money they've thrown out the door by being awkward and saying no, and their competitor is making money that they aren't, they will say yes, and you know you will get them. Because now you say, right, now can we talk about those sticky properties that you've still got on your website, Mr. Jones? Because I checked this morning. Let's see how we can get those off your books in the next 2 weeks. Have we got a deal? You've got a deal, you will make money from them. Guaranteed 100%. You will get every single estate agent you go and see who's got sticky properties. Might not be the first time, but you will get them guaranteed. Now you've got to remember this. They made their sale. They made their sale commission. You whatever deal you're going to do, you might not buy it. It might be a lease option deal where you're not buying it. It might be, could be anything. But if you do a lease option deal, you're still going to pay them their sale commission because that's what they need. So they'll get their sale commission and they get their monthly fee for managing the property. You don't want to manage it yourself. You get them to manage it. Even if you're going to sell the deal on, you get them to manage it. So they get all that. And that's not bad for a property that they couldn't sell for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, is it? Now, I've seen properties on Rightmove that have been empty for 15, 16 years. They're there. The deals are there. Just go and get them. It's a gold mine. Don't sit around. Go and get them. You can do deals. Listen, it's a win-win-win situation. The agent gets the commission and their monthly management fee. The tenant gets their problem solved, not the tenant, I beg your pardon, that should be the vendor. The vendor gets their problem solved and you get a property. And you can either keep the property for yourself or you can package it and sell the deal. Either way, you've made money, right? Easy peasy. That's lease option deals. It's so we'll go through it. Anybody wants more information on that, you come to me, you do it. If anybody who does mentoring with me will go through this in such detail, you can't believe it. We guarantee you deals that deals that you never thought you'd get, that you think aren't deals. We show you how to make huge money from them. Now, we're going to talk now about finding rent-to-rent deals. I know a lot of people are keen on rent-to-rent. They're actually rent-to-rent is not a very good way of doing them. I've done rent-to-rent deals. I was doing them long before they were known as rent-to-rent deals. They weren't known as anything. So rent-to-rent, and I put them out there, called it rent-to-rent. But it's actually just finding deals and renting the rooms out as HMO. So to find rent-to-rent deals, you need to look on places like Gumtree, Spare Room, that kind of thing. When you're going to be looking on there for properties that you can convert, that you can add value to, and mostly you're going to be looking at a house that you can convert to an HMO, which means you're going to need 5 rooms. You'll need 5. Don't go for 4. It's not enough. You'll need 5 rooms to add enough value to make money on the deal. Now, if it's 3-bedroom, but it's got a sitting room and a loft, that's maybe convertible to 5 bedrooms. Often it's 4 bedrooms with a dining room and a sitting room that you can go into 5, or sometimes 6 rooms, and that's what you're looking for. Now, I'll tell you something. When you first click on Gumtree, you'll find out that a lot of these ads are put on by estate agents who are pretending to be the vendor themselves. And you don't really want to deal with estate agents. You want to speak with the vendor. On the way to finding out which they are, is when they answer the phone, you say, "Oh, excuse me, is your property still available?" Now, if they say which one, they're an agent because they've got lots of properties. But if they say yes or no, it's gone, then you know that they're the vendor, and you know how you're going to speak to them, because you're going to speak to each one in a different way. Initially, if you're new to this, I suggest you just forget the agents, just speak direct to vendors, because you'll find it easier. So if they say, you see if it's a vendor, and they say yes, and you're speaking to the vendor, you say, "Great, would you be interested in a medium to long-term deal with the rent guaranteed and maintenance and council tax included?" And they'll say, "Well, what do you mean?" You say, "Well, I'll take your property on for 5 or 6 years, 7 years if you like, and I'll guarantee you the full rental deal every month. I'm going to rent the rooms out on an individual basis, but it doesn't matter whether I've got a void or not. I will still give you your full rent. I will do the full maintenance. I'll do the council tax, and I'll probably do a full redecoration throughout before we even move in. How does that sound to you?" It's an actual hands-off, complete hands-off for you, Mr. Vendor, for the full time. We've got the deal. How does that sound? Usually they'll go for it, particularly, believe it or not, if they're a property investor and they're what we call tired, a tired property investor who've had trouble with tenants. They'll say yes, because tenants can be a pain in the backside, as you may know. So you will need to negotiate the rent payable and things like maintenance. And remember, whilst you will pay the maintenance, that doesn't include structural faults. So if the roof blows off or the chimney falls in, that's not up to you. So just general low maintenance you'll do, and you'll take out the insurance as you would anyway. That is pretty well it. You will go and meet the owner, and you'll say to them, "Look, well, I work with a group of investors. We cover the country. We do very, very well. We work with hundreds of vendors. It may be myself that takes it, or maybe one of my compatriots, but one of us will take it. We all vouch for one another. I can guarantee you that you won't have any problems. Obviously, if we take it for that amount of time and it's hands off and it's maintenance free and everything for you, we need to negotiate the rent that we pay. But we need to do that because obviously we need to make a profit, and we need to make a decent profit that in the end, when we hand the property back to you, we can do a full refurb, a free redecoration before we give it back. Does that sound okay, Mr. Vendor? And that's the basis of getting on with it, and that's how you'll do it. And you will do that. You will get rent-to-rent deals like that quite easily. I promise you, it's not difficult. Now, the best one, of course, the lease option deals are available on Rightmove. You've just seen us go through Rightmove and find out loads of low deals that have been on there for a long time. They are so easy to get as a lease option deal. The vendors will take any amount of money that they want to get rid of it. If they've been trying to sell this property for 2 years And on that first page on leads, on the leads page that you saw, the entire first page, 23 properties have been on there for in excess of 2 years. You think the people who put those, the homeowners, don't want to do a deal to get rid of those? They don't want to sit and look at them for 2 years. What about the estate agents? They're paying to have them on there. They're paying all the time. They're not going to pay for them, you know, for no reason. They want to get their commissions and get them off there. It never looks good for an estate agent when they've got sales sitting on their website for years. You people coming along, new vendors coming along, see that and they steer clear of them. They've got everything going from them for you to do a lease option deal. Everything going from you will do your lease options, no problem. Now, we've spoken in the past about what lease options are and the kind of money they can make and how you can do them. And I've told you that the best lease option deals are repossessions. But I'm going to show you something now that I guarantee nobody in this country is doing. And if somebody wants to come and work with me, the company that you and I and John will form together is going to do this. So this is it. You need to start doing some lease option deals. You need to do 5 or 6. You need to build a website, which John will help you with. This is his business, and do your SEO. John will help you with that. Build your website and your brand. You need to build your brand. You need to. Brand is all about lease option deals. It's all about saving people from repossessions. This is what your brand is: saving people from repossessions. And you can call your website name whatever you like around that. You need to have at least 5 or 6 lease option deals in your portfolio that have gone well and that you've got written recommendations for. Once you've got those on there on your website, and you can now present yourself as a proven official preventer of repossessions, you can now approach the Citizens Advice Bureau. Anyone, it doesn't matter, they're all through the country, and you say to them, look, we know you give free advice. We know people come to you, people who are being repossessed come to you. We know you can't help them except give them advice. But look, this is our website. This is what we do. Here are recommendations from people we've already helped to stop their repossessions, and we can help stop the repossessions from people coming to you at no cost to the homeowner. We do it completely free for the homeowner. It won't cost them a penny. We guarantee it, but we can stop that repossession for them. Yes, they'll still have to move out of their home, but they're being repossessed anyway, so they're prepared for that. But at least they're not going through the trauma of court and repossession and all the rest of it, and their credit rating isn't getting trashed. Would you like to represent us to even just one of your desperate, about to be repossessed clients, and let us see how we do? Remember, we can help them. We can do it. We have done. Here's the proof. Now, once you get the Citizens Advice Bureau working with you, and once they give you one, tentatively perhaps, and you work with it and you do a fantastic deal, they're going to start giving you more and more deals. Well, they won't give you the deals. They'll make recommendations to their clients. Why don't you go and try this company? We know that they've helped other people. We can't say yes or no to them, but speak to them. Maybe they can help you and you can help them. Now, once you're building up a portfolio of lease option deals that you've got through the Citizens Advice Bureau, you can now go straight to the banks. You can go straight to the banks because, believe me, banks hate repossessing. They hate them with a vengeance. Repossessing costs banks a lot of money. The way the financial setup works is they make more money from that monthly money coming in than they do from a lump sum of selling a property. But they never get the full market price anyway. They've always got to take a deal on it to get rid of it. They've got all the expenses involved with it, and they've got all the bad publicity. Believe me, banks hate repossessing. They would much rather do a deal with you, and I've done it, and the banks know I've done it, lease option deals with them, just so they don't have to go through the repossessing procedure. With the Citizens Advice Bureau on board, you can approach any bank, show them details of, you might say got a Midland bank. You've got 1 or 2 or 3 of the people you've done repossessions with who had mortgages with the Midland bank. And you can say, look, this is 3 of your customers. You lock them up. These are your customers. You were about to repossess them, and now you didn't have to. Think of the money you've saved. Think of all the effort you not had to go through because we did a lease option deal with them. Listen, I'm telling you, this is legal. It's 100% legal. You only need one bank to send you one referral, and you do it, and the floodgates are going to open. The sky is the limit. Do you see the potential in this? Do you see the potential of being on board with the banks and the banks giving you details of their repossession before they're repossessed? Because of course you can't do anything once the property's been repossessed. You need to get them before they're repossessed. This is so powerful. It's got to be done. Now, anybody who comes with us, you know what we want to do. We look for people who come into business with us, John and I. Business partners, you'll have 50%, John and I'll have 50%. This is one of the routes we're going to go down. We've already got a website set up, ready to go and do it. We just need somebody to work with us to do it. And it could be you. But this is big money. This isn't just rent to rent with some bloke down the road. This is big money. Once you get the banks on your side and the CAB, you're not working from home on your laptop anymore. Now you're looking at offices and stuff because you'll need them, because there'll be so much business coming in. I promise you. Now, do you see the potential in working with us? You must see it. It makes sense, because whatever you're doing in property at the minute, you're not doing anything like this. I know you're not. I know nobody is. Now we've got all the paperwork and the contracts you need for any deal you can think of. I don't care what it is. Student accommodation, Airbnb, I don't care what it is. We've got all the contracts and paperwork. And it's all completely free to our students and business partners. We do charge for it for people who are not our partners, obviously, because we're in business. Now, if you think that you could be successful and make money if you're partners in business with John and myself, of course you could. I've got 36 years of experience in property investing, 36 years. I've done a lot. I was one of the first people in the country doing lease options, if not the first. I brought them in from America. Most of you know the story about that. And believe me, there's more stuff coming down the road in the next few weeks. We're going to be showing you how you can get land and property completely free, not even spending a penny, completely legally. We'll be showing you how to do that. So make sure you come back. So we're looking for people who want to become business partners with John and myself. That's a separate business, you and John and I, in a business that we'll put together and we'll work together. We'll show you how to do it. We'll do it together and we share it. You 50%, us 50%. And we want to get moving on this. We've been saying this, we say this every week. We get a lot of interest. We want to get moving because I'm going to tell you something. The best 3 months of the year for property investing is January, February, March. And we're coming up to March now. We don't sit around umming and ahhing. If you're serious about property investing, about building your business and making money, and I know you are, or you'll be sitting there listening to this tonight, would you? You'll be down the pub. If you're serious, then get off your backside and do something about it. The very least, give me a bell and have a chat. We're looking for people to work with us in a 50-50 business partnership, and it's going to be very successful. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Change means opportunity. We're going through a big period of change at the moment with Brexit and with this war in the Middle East. There's always change. It doesn't matter what the change is, but change means opportunity, and opportunity means profit. And we can always make profit in the UK on property. Always. This is one of the best places on the planet for being involved in property. And that's because of the size of the country, so small, and the small availability of land and the price of land and the number of people who want to come and live here. It's an opportunity you can't miss. The best place in the world to do it. So listen, this is the perfect time to start or to accelerate your property investing career. Don't waste the opportunity. Don't waste it. Look, do it on your own or with our help, experience and guidance. I don't care, but do it. Get out and do it. And you can start tomorrow. You can start, I've set up this webinar. You go on Rightmove and find these properties. Go on Rightmove and look at the first page in Leeds that I showed you tonight. It's still there, the properties. First page, 23 of them. Now, we've got a personal mentoring program, which I've been running for about 12 years with great success. And it can guarantee your success. Now, when I say personal mentoring, what I mean is it's personal, it's with us and it's with you. It's not 30 people sitting in a room in Birmingham once a month being told a strategy that you've got no interest in. It's nothing like that. It's me and it's you, and we talk about what you want to know. And we're not going to tell you about holiday lets if you're not interested in holiday lets. What would be the point? It'll be wasting your time and our time. Well, we're going to get you going in ways that can guarantee your success and make you a lot of money. The best way to get to success quickly. Now, it's nothing strange. It's not strange that the top people in business and sports worldwide use mentors, and they do for one very good reason. It can guarantee success. It doesn't matter who the top sports people are, who the top business people are. They all either have mentors or they've had them and are now mentoring other people. It works, and it works for a very good reason. It guarantees success. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. How would you feel if you woke up tomorrow morning and you knew without any shadow of doubt that you would be 100% successful at everything you attempted? How would you feel if you woke up tomorrow morning and you knew without any shadow of doubt that you would be 100% successful at everything you attempted? Wouldn't that change your life? It would. It would change your life enormously. It would change the way you think. It would change the way you speak. It would change the way you dress. It would change the way you look at the world. It would change the way you would negotiate. It would change the way you do business, and it would change your success enormously. But how do you get to that point? How do you get to that point of knowing that you can be 100% successful? Well, I'm going to tell you something. It all comes down to, I'll tell you that in a minute. Let me get to that in a minute, because I've got an idea. Look, success breeds success. Success breeds success. Now, if you got my mail today, you might have said the two most powerful words in the world are "what if." That'd be, what if I got working on my social media idea and it changed the world of social media? What would happen? What if I did that? Or what if I went into a business and it didn't work and I crashed? What if then? You see, there's two sides to the what if. There's a positive and there's a negative. And a lot of people look at stuff on the negative side. Now, a lot of people think, like I said at the beginning, yeah, it's all right for you, but I can't do that. I'm useless at that kind of thing. Now, if you've got that kind of mindset, it doesn't matter what it's about, so business or property managing or sourcing or chatting up people or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, but if you've got that mindset, when the case comes along that you've actually got to do that kind of business, and you're not like to go into 100%, you're going to go into it with this negative mindset. And because of that, you're unlikely to succeed, which means you're likely to fail. And if you fail, that failure then justifies your initial bad feeling. See, I knew it wouldn't work. It never works for me. It's always the same. I knew it wouldn't work. I'm useless at that kind of thing. So the next time you go into a challenge, you're even more likely to fail. And you're in a downward spiral of negativity. We've got to stop that, because it's very difficult to get out of. But the only way you can get out of it is by this: success breeds success. Because once you've got a success at something, once the next kind of challenge comes along in the same people say, oh, I can do that because I did it before and I was good at it. I did it. Well, let's have a go at it. And now you're looking at it much from a different point of view. Now you're likely to get to do it and be successful again. And success breeds success because now you're on an ascending spiral of positivity. And that's what you need to do. That's what we help you to do. We don't just teach you a strategy and leave you to it. I've got a business called The Key to Life, which is all about what's in there. What you think is what you are. And what we do is we give you the skills and the confidence to help you succeed in property investment, but not just in property investment, but in life itself, in life skills. So just contact us. We'll do 3 months, we'll do 6 months, we'll do 12-month personal mentoring programs. And it works fantastically. What you've got to remember is that it's in our interest that you're as successful as possible. we don't just want to take your money. We don't need to do that. We want you to be successful, because the successful people will come and work with us, will be invited to come and work with us, and together we will both be even more successful than we would on our own. Do you get that? Working together, we'll be stronger and better and richer and more successful than if we were doing it on our own. And certainly that would apply to you, because John and I have got a phenomenal amount of experience between us, and we've learned the hard way and we know what we're doing. Now, our personal mentoring fees work out cheaper than doing it yourself, and it's quicker. Remember I told you about that guy who did 270 grams worth of deals in just 18 months? He borrowed the money from a friend of his. He paid his friend back in 2 weeks. And he went on to do a lot of deals, Now, people ask us what's involved in a personal mentoring program. And it's 1-to-1 unlimited mentoring with me. And that's unlimited. You can call me anytime. It's not one day a month. No, I think that's crap. And I think that's fake. And I think that's almost fraudulent. With me, you get my personal number. You'll see it come up on the card at the end. It was on the card at the beginning. You get unlimited access to me. If you've got a question at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, you call me, and I'll answer it, because it may be that you've just got a deal, and you've got a meeting on the Monday morning, and you need an answer. I understand that. You've got unlimited time with me. There's no shortage of time. You get support in sourcing deals and identifying property investment opportunities. Stuff that you don't even think about at the moment, that you're not even aware of, that we know that we'll get you going on them. And there's some fantastic things out there. If you saw our webinar last week, you'll understand just a couple of them that we talked about last week. We'll give you guidance in buying, selling, and growing your property portfolio. We'll give you resources, including all the legal contracts, documents, and introductions to estate agents. You won't need solicitors. We've got everything you need. We'll give you all the training, support, and implementing strategies, including lease options. And we'll help you to develop that success mindset, which means you will be successful in everything you attempt. And incidentally, one of the things you get out of all this is a legal way to not pay income tax on your property portfolio, the income from your portfolio. How about that? You do actually pay tax, but it's offshore tax, and the tax is only £225 a year. Regardless, your income could be £1 billion, but your tax is still only £225 a year. Completely legal, 100% legal. We'll show you how you can do that, and that's fantastic adjunct. That's a fantastic add-on to your property career. You need to be doing that. Okay, we've got not a lot of time left, I think, but we've got our question and answer session now. So, John, we got any questions there?
Thanks very much, Peter. I think you covered some fantastic points there with some great information, like Rightmove, and absolutely success breeds success. So, that's what we all want. Just going through the questions. Just one here for you, Peter. Is there any way you can check for the filing essays other than doing research on BDC and Airbnb, as you suggested with the contacting letting agents?
Sorry, I missed that. Is there any way you can check what?
For the filing essays other than doing research kind of online, are there kind of like any other methods?
What's essays?
Let me just have a look. I'm not entirely sure, Peter. Hopefully they can just elaborate.
Those who ask that, just go back and just explain what essay is.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's not serviced accommodation.
Oh, so, all right. Sorry. So again, all right. Knowing that, just ask the question again.
Yeah. So, is there any way you can check for filing for the essays other than doing research on, for example, Airbnb, on the different sites as you suggested? So are there any other ways that you can find those? Or, I mean, presumably online has changed everything really and has made it more simpler for us to find kind of these properties.
I'm really not quite sure what the question is. Does it mean?
Can I just interrupt, mate?
Sorry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, just filling in. Like you said, you're filling HMOs through letting agents.
Yeah.
Is there a similar way with essays other than going through Booking.com and Airbnb to fill them?
Well, you won't know if it's service. generally won't know it. So if it says here, you won't go through it to a residential estate. Anyway,
You won't go through a letting agent, would you?
you go to a commercial agent, and they will have them on there. So you'll be looking at the commercial estate agent rather than a residential agent, and they will know else. You know, they'll have it in part of what it's all about. So you see it straight away. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Great, thank you for that. And just got another question come through here. So can Peter help with doing lease options on commercial to residential, and again help selling the deal? Is that something you can provide support with, Peter?
Yeah, 100%. Like I mentioned earlier on that if you walk into a residential estate agent and talk about lease options, they have no clue what you're talking about. They only have one thing in their mind, and that's development that they give to their builders that sit in the background. But if you go into a commercial estate agents, virtually every commercial deal is done using lease options. The agents in commercial lease estate agents know lease options inside out. They know what they are. They're very familiar with them. They love the fact that you know what they are, because it makes their life easier. They don't have to try and explain them to you. So yes, you can always get commercial deals with lease options. In fact, it's the way to go. And yes, we can help you do deals. We can show you how to get the best deals once you got the. In fact, we talked about this last week. Is that once you've got a lease option deal, let's say you've got a block of flats that you found in York City Centre or somewhere, I don't know, Bradford City Centre or something. You go to the social services centre of the local town council, and you ask them if they would like this converted to disabled accommodation, and I promise you they will bite your hand off because they can't get enough. And you say to them, fantastic, you give me a builder spec of what you need, I'll convert it to your requirements, and the rest just goes on. We haven't got time to go into it tonight. We covered it last week. But yes, it's a fantastic way of doing business and big money in it.
Excellent, Peter. Thank you very much. Just with regards to the mentoring programs, with regards to the charges, it is best to contact Peter directly. Of course, you can do that through telephone, email, through LinkedIn as well. I've posted Peter's LinkedIn in the group chat, so please do connect with him on there. And Peter, I'll just got a question here. How have you found throughout kind of the time really you've been involved in property investments, how's kind of technology and things moving online, how has that kind of shaped the industry now compared to a number of years ago? Have you found
how the industry compares?
Yeah, that's right. So do you find it's kind of easier now than ever to get involved in property investment?
Yes, it is and it isn't. When I started in 1986, and when I started, buy-to-let mortgages didn't even exist. They didn't exist. You couldn't buy one. Nobody had even heard of them. No, they didn't exist. You had to do everything on a residential mortgage. There were no books on it. It wasn't a known industry. Property investing, people just did it, but nobody knew about it as such. There certainly weren't property investors meetings. There wasn't the industry that we've got around it now. I mean, today you know you've got like my mentoring, you've got other people mentoring and coaching. You've got books, you've got videos about it. You've got meetings all around the country. So it's easier from that point of view. But on the other hand, the laws have changed a lot as well over the years, and banks have tightened up. The government's tightened up, councils have tightened up. I mean, look at Article 4, for example, for HMOs. You know, that's made a hell of a change, and that's getting worse all the time. So yes, things have changed a lot for the good and some for not so good, but changed dramatically in the 36 years since I started.
That's excellent, Peter. Thank you very much for that. And obviously, I am very conscious of time, as we are past the hour now. We've just got one last question that's just this moment come through. Peter, do you have access to councils whereby they would want to do the disabled social service deal provided?
Well, everybody does. You just phone the council. Just look up the council number in the telephone book and call them and say, can you put me through to the social services department, please? And you just say to them, can you tell me the situation with your disabled housing accommodation? And they'll always say, "What are you looking for? Have you got?" They'll think you've got somebody who wants disabled accommodation, and you can go along with that initially. And they'll say, "Look, we don't at the moment." And once they start talking like that, you can say, "No, look, you've got it a bit wrong. Actually, I'm an investor, and I'm thinking of buying this particular property, which is in your city centre, I don't know, Reading or whatever. Doesn't matter what centre it is, and I'm thinking of converting it to disabled accommodation. If I did that, is it something that you, as a council, you as a service would be interested in taking off my hands?" And now the ears will pick up. Now they'll start taking interest. I'll say, "Oh yes, what are you thinking of doing with it, doing to it?" And you say, "Well, it's entirely up to you. I don't know what your needs and requirements are at the moment in this particular place, but I'll tell you what, let's have a meeting. I'll show you the place. We can go around, we can look at the place. I'll show you around it. And because incidentally, at the point you'll have got a lease option deal on it for about 4 weeks or so. You only need it for that, for a short time initially. I'll take you around the place. You have a look at it, see if it suits your needs initially. If it does, then let's get some builders involved. You give me a building spec. I'll convert it at no cost to you to the spec you want, even down to the colours of the walls. And when I've finished, you can take it over. How does that sound?" They'll bite your arm off.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Peter. Of course, guys, if you do have any more questions, throughout the week, obviously, just please do get in touch with us. Just want to say a huge thank you again for everyone for taking the time to join us this evening. Peter, our next webinar is taking place next Monday, 7 o'clock. Can you just remind me what's the title of that, please?
I haven't decided yet. I actually haven't decided yet. It might be, I might do it about free property. And if you don't know about that yet, this will blow you away. This is how you can get millions of pounds worth of free land and property all over the country. So
that sounds a brilliant topic, Peter, and please obviously keep an eye out for the email newsletters as well, which will be with more detail will be included in those. So just a final thank you from me.
And thank you from me as well. Remember, don't think you can't do it, just go out and do it. We have amazing success stories all the time from people who do it. If you're interested in knowing more about our mentoring, it's a fast track route to success. Because then give me a call. I'll tell you something else as well. If you join our mentoring program and then we join a business together, you'll get your mentoring fee back 100%. So it costs you nothing. You get all the training for nothing, and you get into business with John and I. That has to be the deal of the century. You can't say, if you're serious, you can't say no to that. It makes sense. If you've got anything up there, then you'll know that's got to be worth doing. So thank you for coming along. Don't miss next week. There's more good stuff coming to you next week, stuff that nobody else is telling you. Remember some of that negotiation stuff that I told you. That's how you speak to the agents. That's how you get the deals. Do that, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. It's been great being here with you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.